Welcome to the Indiana Soccer's online training for the small-sided game referee course. This course is designed to introduce the laws of the game for the first-time referee of the small-sided game. Training for this course is specific to preparing officials for the small-sided and recreational youth game. Part 1 in this series, Law 1, the field of play. The size of the field is determined by the state league rules. At a minimum, the field must be a rectangle in shape and have both touch lines and goal lines. These lines are called the boundary lines. For example, the U.S. Soccer Playing Developmental Initiative recommends that small-sided youth games use this chart for guidance on the size of the field depending on the age of the players and the game format. As with field size, the rules of the competition will determine what field markings are used. Some of the most common field markings include the halfway line, the center circle, the center mark, the penalty area, the goal area, and the corner area. Note that not all fields will have these markings, so referees must know what is required by the modified rules of competition. It is also important to know that the lines on the field are part of the area they define. For example, the boundary lines are still part of the field of play. This is why the entire ball must entirely cross one of these lines before being out of play. For example, the modified rules recommends that the 7v7 youth games use field markings that include a build-out line. The build-out line promotes playing the ball out of the back in a less pressured setting. When the goalkeeper has the ball, either during play or for the taking of a goal kick, the opposing team must move behind the build-out line until the ball is put back in play. After the ball is put in play by the goalkeeper, the opposing team can cross the build-out line and play resumes as normal. Safety is the primary concern for referees at all levels, and this begins with the proper field inspection. All officials should arrive at least 30 minutes before kickoff to do their inspection. Any problems identified with the field should be explained to the home team's coach, and it is his or her responsibility to correct these issues. No game can be played unless the referee decides that the field is safe for play and the referee has the final say on this matter. The game format will determine the size of the goals used. The goals are placed at the center point of each goal line, and the back of the goalpost should be lined up with the outside edge of the goal line. No matter what size the goals are, referees must make sure that they are safe for play. This means that the goals have to be securely anchored to the ground before starting play. For example, modified rules recommends that the small-sided youth games use this chart for guidance on the size of the goals depending on the age of the players and the game format. Weights, sandbags, and stakes are some examples of how a goal may be securely anchored to the ground. Unanchored goals can lead to serious injuries and even death, so no game can be played if the goals are not anchored and safe for play. Again, the home team should be informed if any issues occur and the safety of the goals and his or her responsibility to correct them to the satisfaction of the referee. The team areas consist of the space immediately surrounding the benches for each team. These spaces are also referred to as the technical areas. They are rarely lined at the small-sided game and the recreational youth level, but officials can still require coaches to stay in these areas during the game. Law 2, the ball. It is the referee's responsibility to make sure that the ball meets the requirements for the game they are officiating. The home team usually supplies the ball, and it comes in 3 standard sizes, size 3, 4, and 5. All officials should know the correct ball size for the game that they are officiating based on the local rules of competition. Law 3, the players. The modified rules are designed to make the game both enjoyable and purposeful in the development of the player. The number of players on the field is decreased for the younger players in order to provide more touches on the ball and more involvement in the game. A goalkeeper is not used in the 4v4 play format, while they are introduced in the 7v7 and 9v9 formats. Small-sided and recreational youth games will often allow unlimited substitutions, but the modified rules of competition will outline many and when substitutions are allowed, so officials will need to know these rules. Officials must be aware of the procedure that is needed for a substitution to be made. First, the referee will be informed of the substitution. The referee then confirms that the change can be made. Next, the player being substituted leaves the field. The player being replaced usually leaves at the halfway line, but he or she can leave at the field from anywhere on the field. Once the player has left the field, the substitute can enter the field of play at the halfway line. The substitution procedure is over when the substitute enters the field with the referee's permission, thus becoming a player. Substitutes may take a restart provided they first have stepped on the field of play prior to taking in a restart. Law 4, the player's equipment. There are 5 pieces of player equipment the referee should check for. These pieces of equipment are footwear, which must be worn and must be considered safe, shin guards that are made of a suitable material and provide a reasonable amount of protection, socks that completely cover the shin guards, and each player must also wear shorts and a shirt that is in the same color of their teammates. Each goalkeeper must wear colors that are distinguishable from other players on the field and the match officials. If small-sided and recreational youth players are wearing additional clothing or equipment, referees should make it safe for play and be lenient if the colors don't exactly match the rest of the uniform. This is the end of part 1.